viewers, welcome back to the PI show. It's that time of the show when we've got Kathy's mailbag. Kathy, what do you think of the discussion with Don Mafia?
Firstly, good evening, Tony, John, viewers. I thought it was very interesting and something that is just unbearable to think about. I mean, a mother suing an 11-year-old son. I have to side with John on this one here. I don't think that an 11-year-old boy should be able to drive a car, even if it's only for 3 to 4 minutes.
What we forgot to tell the viewers is what she actually got out of that case. The court decided it was worth $700,000, but she only recovered $140,000 because the court blamed her 80%, which is probably in line with what you're thinking, John.
It is maybe a bit too high for my liking, because in the end we still have an injured lady, Tony.
I think it's too high because the father had shown this child effectively how to drive up a driveway.
Exactly.
And the mother probably thought, okay, he knows what he's doing. So she stood in front of a cab and to her detriment, sadly.
Well, can I just say that I think we should have Don back because A, I thought he was fantastic, and B, there's just too many TAC stories that I think that we need to address, and I think the viewers would like that as well. So I'm putting in a special request on behalf of the viewers, and I would also like to provide the viewers with some tips. Firstly, blame the father, because that's the way Tony's thinking at the moment. So. But secondly, I think that viewers, if a taxi driver is not willing to take you, don't climb on board a taxi. It's not going to be to a great benefit for yourself. And the third one is, I think the reason that the laws are in place for drivers to obtain their learner's permit at 16, that they're in place for a reason, and that we shouldn't be driving beforehand so that we actually know the road rules, and that's why we've got someone that's licensed to assist us in actually
Kathy, can I put
learning
this to
how to
you?
drive. Yes.
In Europe, apparently I've been told that the parents can't teach a young person how to drive a car. You've got to get a specialist driver to teach you. Not like here where you've got your next door neighbour taking their child out, you take them out, and it varies a lot.
Well, here
Tony,
you only have to clock up 120 hours as
Tony,
well.
are you sure about that? Have you seen the way they drive in Europe?
Yeah, but they seem to be a lot more safer than what we are.
I
You've
tend to
driven
disagree.
in Rome, I've driven in Athens, they don't drive.
Well, at the village
Well,
in
and I feel
Greece, let me
safer
tell
there
you,
for
they
some
drive in
reason,
the
John.
villages from when they're like 3. So I'm not sure that that stands technically, but
No, look,
I
that's
still
what I've
don't
been
agree
told.
with someone underage be driving. However, we need to move on to the questions as we've got a lot to get through. So first question is, Dear PI Show, I work in a stressful and a dysfunctional workplace. Recently, I witnessed a physical fight between 2 employees in the workplace. I was shocked by what I saw and felt something within me snap. I've not been able to return to work. Do you have any advice for me? Now, this is for Cameron in Footscray. Tony, what's your advice on this?
That's bizarre. A stressful and dysfunctional workplace where people are punching on. Does that happen all the time? Is that what he's saying?
I'm not sure. I think we need more facts, to be honest, from
Look,
Cameron in this particular instance.
If he suffered a psychological reaction or due to the stresses of seeing what happened, I think he's entitled to no felt benefits.
You should lodge a work cover claim, Tony.
I was hazard to guess that the other 2 have been sacked or something along those lines.
Well, he's entitled to weekly payments and medical-like expenses, particularly if injuries, and here we've got psychological injuries which have arisen.
And I'd also hazard to guess that that company won't survive long if that's how they conduct themselves, because let's be realistic. How can you have a workplace where people are punching on every day?
You can't have that.
It's just not going to work.
I reiterate earlier advice that we've had on previous shows that, again, management need to be aware of it well in case that they're not. So, all right, well, hopefully...
For all you know, that was management punching on.
Who knows, that's right. We hope not, viewers. We'll move on to the next question, which is from Isabel in Hampton. Dear PI Show, my 14-year-old son attends a state school. The other day, he and his friends thought they noticed some money in a drain. Together, they tried to pick up the grill that covered the drain. However, the grill was very heavy and one of the boys dropped it on my son's finger, which was severed. I believe that the grill should have been bolted down. Is there negligence in this case? Now, John, that's an interesting question. I mean, kids in a school ground, they're bound to do something, but should that have been bolted down?
Well, it is clearly a difficult case. However, Kathy, we've got a situation where kids are in an area where there's a grill, which most likely, as we know, all kids will try to lift it up, try to do something about it. My view is it should have been bolted down. Since it wasn't, then the school is liable. And yes, I think there's negligence here, Tony.
John, is there reasonable foreseeability? Could they foresee that kids would do what they did?
A big factor would be if it's occurred before. You'd have to check whether or not there has been any previous incidents.
I guess it depends also where the grill's located. If it's in their play area and
Oh, yes.
they're fiddling around and and it's
Location.
been lifted before and there's been
Exactly.
It
complaints.
could be in a remote area where
That's right.
children.
That's where I'm coming
Yeah, that's
from.
right. Yeah, I agree with Tony.
Look, if it's in a remote area where hardly anyone ever goes.
Yeah, you're probably too
Then it's
remote.
difficult.
It would be too remote.
Then
It
it's
wouldn't be
difficult.
reasonable foreseeability.
Exactly.
So get advice. I think that's the best thing.
But again, the injury is so severe, you need to seek advice on this one.
You should investigate the case. See a lawyer. That's our advice.
Great advice there. I hope that's helped you, Isabel. And we'll move on to the next question, which is, hi guys. My cousin is involved in litigation at the moment. I have a simple question that I'd love for you to answer. What is the difference between a common law claim and a serious injury claim? And this is from Alexis in Alstonwick. Well, common law claim and serious injury
Kathy,
claim.
can I say this? Can I
Yes, you
start
may.
off with this hypothesis? There's no such thing as a simple question or simple in the law.
Not in personal injury.
It's an area of law where you do need to get advice because it's very complicated. There's so many little rules and regulations we've got to abide by. So, John, I'll take it back to you.
Well, in the work cover and transport accident context, Kathy, for common law damages, you need to first lodge what's called a serious injury application, basically which alleges that the injury that you sustained, either at work or in a transport accident, has caused serious consequences to you, to your daily life, to your work life, to your social life, to your emotional and physical life. Now, you lodge the application with either the Victorian Work Cover Authority or the Transport Accident Commission. If it's accepted and you're granted what's called a serious injury certificate by either Victorian Work Cover Authority or by the Transport Accident Commission for your claimed injuries, then that allows you to claim common law damages, as in you sue the party at fault for the injuries that you sustained.
pain and
And that's-
suffering, loss of enjoyment of life,
Yes.
and loss of income.
Yes, the claim will be for pain and suffering, for economic loss for the past and for the future, particularly for someone that can never work again because of a work-related injury or a transport accident. You will be claiming what's called pecuniary loss or economic loss, plus, Tony, your superannuation entitlements.
Cool.
And the 9% contribution.
Overtime and all sorts of things.
Exactly.
John, just to surmise, the serious injury claim is a threshold claim
Exactly.
to give you permission to sue.
But can you also raise a common law claim other than with work cover and TAC?
Yeah, public
In the
liability.
public liability context.
And there's thresholds
Okay.
there as well.
Yes.
But you can issue those proceedings a lot quicker, I think.
Okay.
Look, it's the end of the show.
It
guys.
is already. But time flies when we're having fun, viewers. Please keep writing into us as we love answering your questions. You can visit us at www.thepishow.com, and all questions, no matter how big or small, are always welcome. We love answering them for you. Thank you for
Thanks,
watching.
viewers. Stay
Good night,
safe.
viewers.
Good night.